Welcome to Economics. Today we will be talking about the 14 economic bases. Stand by and listen.
Scarcity is a limited amount of resources to meet the unlimited necessities and wants. We have to vary limited resources to create scarcity, so we need to decide on what we produce, how we produce, and whom to produce it from. A shortage is an excess in demand where the demand for the product or services exceeds its supply in the market. So it's the opposite of excess supply. Needs are necessities that a person needs to live, so like water, shelter, and food. Wants are things that people like but don't need to survive. So food, if they want a new car, or if they want a new computer, or if they just even want a haircut, that's not a necessity, it's a want. So those are things that you don't need in life. Necessities are things that you need to survive. Three basic economy questions, those come into play when the consumers and goods produce what they produce in society, and the economic systems determine which goods and services will be able for the public use and private use. So those are two differences with the private use and public use. Everyone can use one product and only a certain amount of people can use another product. What goods and services should be produced? Things that are going to make our economy have a boost, those are things that should be produced. Economic systems must determine how to allocate productive resources in the form of the land, and how should goods and services be produced, and how all of the goods determined to be produced. So there's always that person in that position that can determine on what item or what thing that they need to produce to make our economy either drop, or it's something that's not going to sell, or something that's going to go up and sell and be popular and be out there.
What are the 4 factors of production? Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Land is actual land, for example, mountains, trees, and what's underground, like gold and other properties. Labor are the people who work, for example, on the assembly line, factories, fields, any kind of work. Capital is the money or a factory. And in entrepreneurship is, for example, Bill Gates or Mark Z, who are driving force in the economy.
Uses of the economy. We have the analyze, explain, predict, and describe. When you're analyzing the economy, you're going to want to analyze things that are going to be successful within our economy, so things that will sell well and will boost our economy. Popular things that people want to buy. The next one is explaining. So when you have a product and you want to sell it, you have to analyze it, you have to predict what it's going to provide within the future, and where it's going to take our future. And the next one is predicting. So when you make a product, you want to know if it's going to take a plummet, or if it's going to override within our economy or within your small business. So if I were to sell cookies, do I want to sell a different cookie that people are going to love, or do I want to sell a chocolate chip cookie that people are going to or can get anywhere else? So that's what people take into accountability when they sell things off their own business or within their small family business. They want to sell different things, not things that they can get at 20.
What's the cost of benefit analysis? Benefit analysis is when you list the pros and cons of getting an item, basically the benefits of doing something. Then you list all the sales of an item. Thinking at the margin is a benefit of an extra 0.5% hour of studying. What is the cost of doing that extra studying? What do you get out of it? Basically a way of thinking extra. Good. A material that satisfies human wants and provides fully, for example, a consumer making a purchase while getting enough satisfying product, basically getting what he wants out of it. Service is consumed to the point of sales. Services are one of the 2 components of economics. Capital goods, that means when they're considered tangible, they're used to produce other goods of service or during a certain period of time, machinery, tools, buildings, computers, or other equipment that is involved in production of other things for sales that represents the term of capital good. Double goods is a good that does not quickly wear out, that yields unity over time rather than not being completely consumed in one use. For example, a car. Value means that the utility of a good or service to command good or services or money. Let's see. Utility is described as a measurement of usefulness that a consumer obtains from any good. Paradox of value is the price that is determined and usefulness. Specialization is a method of production or business of area or economy that focus on the production of a limited space of products or services to gain greater degree of product efficiency. In economics, a circular flow model is a diagram that is used to represent monetary transactions. In an economy, there are two flows present within the models, including flows of physical things, goods or labor, and flows of money, what types it pays. For example, on this side, you could say that there is the households, government, and then businesses. And the money, like the circular flow, the money flows around, then the taxes and everything that involves the economy. Trade-offs is the exchange of one thing or another for more or less or equal value, especially to effect a compromise. An opportunity cost refers to a benefit that a person could have received, but gave up to take another opportunity. It represents an alternative given up decision that is made. This cost is therefore most relevant for two mutually exclusive events, where by choosing one event, a person could choose the other one. What are the four types of economies? Traditional, command, market, and mixed. Traditional economy is the most traditional and ancient type of economy in the world. Traditions and customs believe the shape of goods and services the economy produces. The strengths are the main advantage is that tradition is preserved while it's virtually non-existent in the market and mixed economies. Each member has a specific role and pronounced role. Weaknesses is a vulnerable type of economy. It is also most likely to change and lower the status of wealth and living standards of people. Command in an economic system in which the means of production are publicly owned and economic activity is controlled by central authority. The strength is that it can prevent abuse and monopoly over power. Prevent has mass unemployment. They could produce goods that benefit the society. Weaknesses of that could be that they are unable to respond to consumer preferences. They are a threat to democracy and liberty. Government usually has poor information about what to produce for a company. For example, Walmart, you don't see Walmart you don't see the government interviewing in Walmart's businesses. Market economy is an economy in which decisions regarding investment, production, and distribution are based on market-determined supply and demand. For example, prices of goods and services are determined in a free price system. Some of the strengths of that it provides an incentive to acquire useful skills. It encourages producers, consumers to conserve scarce resources. Market system involves a really high degree of economic freedom. Weaknesses is that it may be unstable. Markets don't do in some areas. Mixed economy is an economic system then combining public and private enterprise. It features both characteristics of both capitalism and socialism. Some of the strengths could be that the state provides essential services. Private sectors are encouraged for profits. Competitors keep low prices. Some of the weaknesses of that could be that its excessive control over business activity can add cost and discourage enterprise. Now let's talk about the production possibilities curve. It's a hypothetical representation of the amount of two different goods that can be obtained by shifting resources from the production of one to the production of the other. The curve is used to describe a society among between two different goods. Right here I have a picture of the production possibilities curve where you can see the two different types of businesses, the consumption and the investments, and how they go together. Okay, what are the 6 characteristics of the American economic system? First is limited role of government, which is the economic system in which the government minimizes its interference with the economy. Second is freedom of enterprise, is in which the economy and system in which individuals own the factors of production and decide how to use them in legal limits, same as capitalism. It's the freedom of choice is the third one, where buyers make the decision of what to produce, not sellers. Success depends on the individual. Profit of incentive is the fourth one. It is a desire to make profit. It is the amount left after all the cost of production. Competition would be the fifth one. It is the rivalry among producers to win more businesses by offering low prices of better quality. Private property is the sixth one, which is property that is owned by individuals or groups rather than the federal, state, or local governments. And now let's talk about the 6 goals of the nation. The first one is to form a more perfect union. States have to operate as a unified nation. The second one is to establish justice, the nation needed for a federal court system. The third one is ensure domestic tranquility, which means peace at home. The fourth one means provide the common defense to protect the nation for forest hostile invaders. Let's talk about the fifth and the sixth one. The fifth one is to promote the general welfare, means to ensure the high standards of living for the people. And the last one is to secure the blessings of liberty and preserve freedoms. Thank you.
We hope that you learned more about the 14 economic bases, and thank you for taking the time to listen.